Good evening, friends. In the last some lectures, we have learned some topic related to UV visible spectroscopy. Now, UV visible spectroscopy it is spectroscopy where UV visible radiations interacts with the matter and its components. Now here we have taken already some part of the UV visible spectroscopy like Beer's law, Lambert's law, Beer's law. Their statements. Now the limitations. There are some limitations of the Beer-Lambert's law. Now, Beer's law is related to concentration and Lambert's law is related to path length or thickness of the sample. Now, if you combine both, then it becomes the Beer-Lambert's law. Here, Beer-Lambert's law, the first is there, first limitation. Beer-Lambert's law is valid only in dilute solutions. That means the law is invalid at high concentration. If the solution contains maximum concentration, and if we have to take the if we take the series of such a solutions, then the law, that is the Beer-Lambert's law, is invalid. So at high concentration where the solution contains maximum amount of sample, the law fails. The first is there, Beer-Lambert's law is invalid at higher concentrations. The second limitation, turbid solution cannot be measured due to scattering of light between the particulates in sample. Now, turbid solutions are nothing but the solutions in which particulate samples are present. Now, particulate samples in the turbid solution, there is a maximum scattering takes place, and therefore turbid solution cannot be measured due to the scattering of light between the particulate in sample. When we subject turbid solution to the colorimeter or spectrophotometer, at that time particulates present in the sample, and these particulates move in a zigzag direction, and therefore scattering of light takes place, and this scattering of light interfere the measuring system, measurement of absorbance. Therefore turbid solutions cannot be measured due to the scattering of light between the particulates in the sample. Beer-Lambert's law fails if light is not monochromatic. So there is a must condition is that monochromatic light should be present so that we get a selected wavelength of light. So Beer-Lambert's law fails if light is not monochromatic. Fourth limitation is that Beer-Lambert's law may not be obeyed when different forms of the absorbing molecules are in equilibrium. So Beer-Lambert's law fails when different forms of the absorbing molecules are in equilibrium. Different forms of the absorbing species, if they are in equilibrium position, at that time Beer-Lambert's law fails. A deviation from Beer-Lambert's law is observed when there is a fluorescence or phosphorescence in sample. If the sample has a fluorescence property, if the sample has a phosphorescence property, at that time Beer-Lambert's law fails. Therefore we get the deviation in measurement. So this is a typical graph of absorbance versus concentration. If we see this is a directly proportional absorbance versus concentration graph. This is, and A, that is absorbance is directly proportional, absorption is directly proportional to concentration to this point. Here this is the linear range is observed, and this linear range is nothing but the absorbance is directly proportional to concentration. But after this point we get this deviation. So this deviation is nothing but the limitation of Lambert's-Beer's law, and this deviation is observed because of these 5 reasons as mentioned in above theory. So this is all about this, we can say, limitation of Lambert's-Beer's law. At high concentration Lambert's-Beer's law fails. For turbid solution Lambert's-Beer's law fails. For if light is not monochromatic, then Lambert's-Beer's law fails. If the absorbing species are in equilibrium, at that time Beer-Lambert's law fails. If the sample contains fluorescence or phosphorescence, at that time Beer-Lambert's law fails. So this is all about the Lambert's-Beer's law and their limitations. With this content I conclude this lecture. Thank you very much for your patience listening.